Hi, everybody. I'm starting right at 2 o'clock, even though I know that there are a few that will be popping on likely in the next few minutes. My boys are outside playing right now, so I have a quiet half hour to do this. So welcome. I'm really excited about this because although I've done vision boards in the past, this is the first year that I've used an online application for it. So my goal for the next 30 minutes is primarily to focus on how to use Canva to develop a vision board. But in case there are those of you who have not done a vision board in the past, I will touch briefly on what they are, how to use them, and then we'll move into how to actually put one together. So a vision board is basically a visual representation of your goals, overarching goals that can transcend more than just annual goals, but can include years of a vision that you have for yourself, your business, or your family. And the idea is that by doing it visually, in a way that you can post in a visible place that you can see every day, that you'll be using the law of attraction to focus your energy deliberately and, more to the point, subconsciously towards the goals that you're wanting to achieve. So I looked up a couple of resources for those that haven't done a board or want to refresh their memories on exactly what they are. And the best, or a nice resource that I found, was jackcanfield.com, and he had an outline of what it is and how to make one. I'm going to share the screen because he did have a handout on 21 ways to make a vision board, and it was nicely laid out, and I know at least one of you got lost down a little rabbit hole on his website, so I think it has lots of good stuff. Hopefully you can see that. Basically, he's suggesting you make a vision board by creating your goals, making a list, collecting pictures that symbolize your goals, and traditionally this is done with magazine articles and clippings and lots of magazines, lots of cutting, and lots of glue. And you put together a collage of your pictures that symbolize what you envision for your future. You put it together neatly, although I don't quite see how collage can be neat. But anyway, put it together neatly, and to include affirmation words and quotes or mantras that fit with your vision. And then the key for most of us, I think, is to place it somewhere where you're going to be able to see it daily. And by seeing it daily, you'll be reaffirming those goals. You'll be working towards them even without, the whole idea, I think, of these vision boards is that you're not necessarily spending concrete time related to the vision board working towards it, but that you tend to align yourself towards these goals when you pay attention to them. That's not to say that actively working towards your goals is not also important, but I think the value in having a vision board is that it goes well beyond those conscious, deliberate steps and just tends to turn your attention towards the opportunities that fit with the vision that you have. His checklist, Jack Canfield's checklist, is quite handy too. And if you sign up online, he sends it to you by email, and then you can, if you're like me, immediately unsubscribe so you don't have more coming into your inbox. But it was helpful. And I think in general, his checklist includes carefully choosing pictures that resonate with your dreams and your goals, not just for work goals, but all areas of your life. So health and fitness, or friendships and relationships, personal life or home life, parenting, as well as your work goals or education goals. So covering your whole life, it's very broad. He feels that adding these affirmations and quotes and whatnot help things resonate. I think the idea being that images or pictures can be worth 1,000 words, but mantras and quotes and affirmations can also pack quite a lot of value in a few words, rather than writing mission statements on your vision board. It's about capturing the feeling or the goal that you're trying to get in very few words. His suggestion, I think most people have heard this suggestion, that it's worth reviewing annually, and to write down the date that you did it so you can look back. In terms of me personally, I found, the very first time I did a vision board, I tucked it away and didn't even really look at it. And then a year later when I looked at it, there were an extraordinary number of goals that were achieved on there that I found kind of interesting, that at least I had aligned some of my efforts into achieving these goals that seemed maybe a little abstract initially, but that I got there eventually anyway. And I feel like the vision board was a way to orient me or face me in the direction that I was wanting to go. So that's it in a nutshell, and in terms of what a vision board is. But most of the time, the rest of our time, I really want to focus on how to actually use Canva to do this. I find it appealing because as a minimalist, I don't have magazines in my house to use to make a vision board. I also find that it allows me to work on it on the computer without it taking up a lot of room. And it is not that costly to print it off. If I added up the cost of the magazines I would have had to buy to put this together, the cost of printing it was far less. So the software I'm using is Canva. It's available for free online, canva.com. You can open up an account, and I'll share my screen again and we'll do the rest directly that way. You can open up an account and start doing projects that can be more than just your vision board. They can be pamphlets or Facebook headers and covers, or what I did for the vision board was a poster. They have images built right into Canva, but you can also add your own. So that might include your logos or photos of yourself doing something that you're hoping to do again through your vision board. And so you can download those or upload those into Canva. I used a poster for mine, and actually it might be worthwhile just showing you the end product so that you know where we're heading with this. So I did one for this year, and I ended up printing it. I'm gonna have to turn it sideways. It's probably a 2x1 foot poster, and it probably was, I think, less than $14, and Canva delivers it right to your door. There's no cross-border issues here. I think they have a printing office somewhere in Ontario. So I've included, a logo for 2 of the conferences I was hoping to present at or attend, and those are already ticked off my list for this year. I've been wanting to meditate daily, read 50 books this year as a goal, do another triathlon, and be an invited speaker somewhere and focus a bit more on my parenting goals as well. The rest of it is full of some key phrases or some quotes that I felt resonated with where I was trying to go this year. And so that's kind of it in a nutshell, but I'll show you as well another option that I did also with Canva was to focus on the actual goals. This isn't a vision board. It was specifically looking at goals, like the measurable, attainable, time-oriented things that I could achieve. So it's a little bit more concrete and action-oriented, where the vision board is a little more reflective and subconscious and visual with the pictures. So there we go. So let's jump right in. If you are not familiar with Canva, hopefully this gives you what you need to get started. So if we are going to start from scratch with a vision board through Canva, I would pick a poster. I mean, you could pick a flyer as well, depending on how big, but let's start with a poster here. And we'll just wait for Canva to load this up. Canva comes with several templates that you can use as a basis. I find that a lot of times the templates are a little too muddied for what I'm looking to do, but you can start with anything and you can take things on or off, depending on what you are trying to do. Some of the images on Canva are $1 each, but there are many that are free. And of course, you can find lots of free images online for uploading too. So let's start with, I'm going to start with this one because it's free and it has a fairly plain background. You can choose the color of the background, but let's start with, you know what, let's assume that one of my goals is to eat really well. So I want to actually leave that nice little quote, "You are what you eat," and I'm just going to plunk it right there. And this image is also on it automatically, and I'd like to keep that too. Let's just assume. So I'll just move it. It's a very intuitive program. Images can be clicked and moved anywhere you want. So you can really tailor it. And as long as you are logged in, it will save your work. But as a lesson learned that I'll share, if you start a new project before you shut down your current one, you're basically laying your new project right on top of your old one. Kind of like a layer, and you could peel back the layers and find your old document, but it's far better to go back over to this top left corner that says home and start a new project separately. Okay, so, and as you can probably see already, this is a program that would be useful for far more than just vision boards. So let's say I'm finding this background a little dark, and I want to be motivated and have a light mood associated with my vision board. So I might just go in here and switch the color, do a vibrant orange color. And so if I've already, based on some of the advice to think of goals ahead of time, and I already know that one of my goals is to have 10 clients a week in my private practice, I can either try to find an image related to that. And if you go to this left-hand side, you'll see the elements that you can add. There's geometric shapes, text, background, which lets you choose more than just a solid color like we have. Your uploads, which are all the images you've already attached. And folders, I think, are where I could organize my work, but I haven't done that yet. I've purchased a few pictures and they would be in there. So let's say I know that I've uploaded a photo of a baby to represent my clients. And if there's an image that particularly resonates with me in terms of parenting, then I might just grab it here and decide that for me represents my goal of working with clients. Images can either be scrolled over as a full image that takes up the whole poster, or we can put it like that, or we can put it in, put it in the corner. And it's intuitive, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. So I'm gonna squish that down to size. Oh, we're gonna run into some problems, which is all part of the process, I guess, isn't it? Okay, so we will just try to, no, it's not going to work. So I'll just cancel and try to delete the image. There we go. I just clicked on the image and then pressed backspace and it deleted it. So we'll try again. We'll get this right in the corner here. Oh, it's not liking that. It does not want to do a little picture on this one. We'll try that. So it does, there we go. It does take some playing around, but let's assume that this represents that I want to work with clients with young babies, but I would find it helpful to have some heading that reminds me what this image is about, or to put into words what my vision is. We go over to the left-hand side where it says text, and I can pick either a preset collection of fonts, which tends to have different sizes and whatnot for an entire poster. That gets a little bit muddled pretty fast if all I want to do is add one statement. So I can go up to the top here, and I can either add a heading, subheading, or a little bit of text. I can change the size and the font later, but let's start with dragging over add a heading, or rather clicking on it. And there it is. It's a very small heading. And so I'm going to just make it really big by going over here to font size and typing in 45. We'll see. It's not that big yet. Let's try 88. Okay. So now we have a heading for our vision board, and I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to call it Vision Board 2019. But I still want there to be something related to this little picture I've added here. So I'm going to add a little bit of text there. You can see it's pretty tiny, but like anything on Canva, you can drag it wherever you want, and you can change the size of it and change what's in the box. So if I put 10 clients per week is my goal. And it's a bit small, so we're going to increase it in size and stretch it out. Like with anything online, the challenge I think sometimes is figuring out what it will actually look like when it's printed. Because obviously this is, if it's a poster, it's going to end up being much bigger. I'm going to move that right here. I'm going to move it right up here. I think it shows up well enough there, and if I'm concerned about it, it's as easy as you know, a Word document where you're putting it in bold, changing the size that way. There we go. 10 clients per week is a professional goal. Eating healthy is one of my personal goals. Let's say I also wanted to have a goal of traveling to Arizona this year, and it weren't already planned. I could either go to uploads or look for something in their photos, in the photos already here. So let's assume that I don't have, well, there's a picture of a desert right there, but let's pretend that I'm looking for a particular picture. And I know I don't have it in my Google Photos. So I'm going to go over here. This is Jack Canfield's 21-point checklist, but we are going to go to Google. And you may already be familiar with this, but it's pretty easy to just show you quickly. And I want images of an airplane, because that is going to represent a trip. Okay, now if you haven't already done this and you don't want to infringe on copyright, if you're grabbing images from Google Images, and I've clicked on images so that it's not websites or articles, you click on Tools, you go to Usage Rights, and then you click on Labeled for Reuse. Or you could actually labeled for non-commercial reuse, since this is just for personal. But let's click on Labeled for Reuse. And I'm not really picky because I'm not going to consider too much that the airline is going to affect my outcome. But let's choose this nice one of the sun. So I click on it, double click, save image as, and then airplane sunset travel under Google Photos. I'm going to save it there, and it will be waiting for me. So when I return to Canva, I'll be able to upload it, upload an image. And there it is in Google Photos. So I'll just open it up, click on it. It's going to end up in my uploaded images collection in Canva. And if I scroll up, it should be right up at the top. There it is. Okay, so we don't want it to be the whole board again. There we go. We go into the middle instead of the edge. So this plane will represent my goal of traveling this year. And if the words say, perhaps the words, the world is my oyster, something that speaks to me in terms of where I'd like to go this year, then I can add that as a text. I'm going to move it down though. So click on there, move it here. And that's kind of a useful quote or mantra for me to repeat to myself. If it resonates with me, I can put it on. And then let's see, what else would I want to achieve this year? I want to be more patient as a parent, something I want to work towards. So I'm going to look up uploads. Now they also have images. So and I'm not seeing it, so just wait. I can find it. Elements, here we go. In Elements, this is Canva's collection of geometric shapes, lines, grids, backgrounds, photos, and graphics. So I'll show you briefly. A grid, for example, would be a way of dividing up your document ahead of time, which can make it easier for managing the space in a poster. But you can also add shapes, which I think will allow you to actually shape, I think that's my kids, actually shape a picture if you're wanting it to not be, oh no, that's not going to work. I think there is a way. I think a lot of this is just playing around with it, but let's say for photos, I wanted to have a picture of a child. I'm just going to see if Canva has one that resonates with me, and there's one. That looks like a patient mom playing with her kid. So I'm going to put that on, and there we go. And then we can resize it after. And so this for me represents being a patient parent. And so I'll put it in there, and then I might, you know, have something that resonates for me with, in terms of being a patient parent, like patience is a virtue, or a quote that I like from Dr. Laura Markham or from Judy Arnell that I can put on here, that when I read it, it doesn't just represent a particular goal, but an entire feeling that I want to resonate or practice or be better at this year. And so what else can we do with this? In addition to continuing to add images that reflect the goals you want to achieve, remembering that this is not just for professional goals, but it's for all areas of your life. So it could be that you want to have, you want to pay attention more to your leisure time or self-care. You can, you know, put a bubble bath, or, you know, pictures of books if you want to read more. And the picture itself, for me, should represent or symbolize the goal. It doesn't need to be a picture of exactly what it is you're wanting to have, but that it reflects or represents or symbolizes what you want. So I don't want to have a toddler again. I'm happy with having my youngest before, but this picture resonates with me as something that shows playfulness in parenting, which may be a goal. If I'm wanting to spend more time outside, a particular image of a tree or a field or a meadow may be enough that symbolizes that, so that when I look at it, it literally is a picture worth 1,000 words. And in that way, I can continue to fill up this board. I can move pictures around. I can change font size and change the words, add quotes. I can either type them in directly or post them in as a PDF document if I found them somewhere else, and continue until the board is full and set up the way that I want in order to have developed my vision board that reflects everything that I am seeking and trying to manifest this year. When I am done, the options are many for what to do with it. You could leave it online, but I think that the power of a vision board is that it's visual. Perhaps you could figure out a way to download it and have it as your screensaver, or have it pop up on your phone, which actually would be quite a handy thing. But I'll show you how to download and print them, and so that you can actually have something up on your wall. In Canva, they give you the option to print, and there's a few options here. One is to print the poster. That is for Canva to print it for you and mail it in a rolled up poster cylinder. Again, the cost wasn't very prohibitive. You could also get it printed at Staples, but depending on the size of the document, it would be far more expensive, and the formatting sometimes gets thrown off. So if you want to print through Canva, for example, I just feel like it's much more cost effective. And it's in, I think it's in Canadian dollars. They have offices throughout the world, including Canada, so I think we're good there. They have the size, so you can change the size. The size will partly be dictated by what format you chose. So a poster will give you larger options than a flyer. And certainly in terms of print quality, you'll want to pick something that reflects approximately the size you'll want at the end. So you can see here, one copy is only $6. And you save money for multiple copies, although, I don't know, maybe you could put a vision board in each bathroom, or one in your kitchen and one in your bedroom. I hadn't thought of that before now, but it's pretty cost effective. However, if you wanted to print it off yourself, then what you can do is download it. Click here, you choose your file type, which I tend to choose PNG, which is high quality image. JPEG is pretty small, PFD is standard for a document, and then there's high quality PFD printing. Okay, so that is my kids at the door. I think my half hour is pretty much up. So I usually use PNG for downloading. It will download to your cloud if you're with Google, or download onto your hard drive if you are on a desktop. And from there, you can print it off yourself, or send it to Staples, or figure out how to put it as your landing page, or not landing page, as your primary screen on your phone, so that every time you use your phone, you're getting to see your vision board. So there it is, downloaded, lickety split, and then I can use it any way I want. However, again, I think from my experience, printing them off really is cost effective, and gives a really nice product too, that I think is good enough quality for the money that I was paying for them. So I will stop share screen and get back to video just to close off today. So there is Canva for a vision board in a nutshell. It can require a lot of time if you delve really deeply into finding the exact right picture. Keep in mind that if we were doing this with magazines, you'd have your stack of magazines and you'd find something that was relatively reflective of your goal or vision. The challenge, of course, when you're using images on the internet and font sizes even on the internet, the choices are overwhelming, and you could search for days to make it the perfect vision board. But to me, the best vision board is a vision board that gets done and posted, so you can move on to actually doing things that move you towards your vision. So hopefully that was helpful. I would love some feedback when you see this. I'd love to find out whether there was anything that didn't make sense, whether there was anything you saw on the screen for Canva that I didn't cover. And what I will likely do is just write a quick blog post about this in a few days after people have watched the video, and see how things go that way. So that is it. Good luck. Have fun. If you are on our Facebook page and you end up doing a vision board and you feel like sharing it, by all means, I would love to see them. I think even if it's a partially done one before you put some more personal or private vision statements on there, I think it'd be really fun to see. So I guess that is it. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, or whatever day it is when you see this, and take care. Bye for now.